Hi, folks. Steve Urban here, host of the Riderflex podcast and founder and CEO of our day job recruiting firm, Riderflex. We hope you enjoy this episode. And as a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast for updates and news. Finally, if you haven't already, check out the series of books we've published on hiring, interviewing, and overall career advice titled The Riderflex Guide, available on Amazon. And now, a quick word from our sponsor.
Most homeowners don't have the time or expertise to properly take care of their home, which causes costly issues to arise. That's where Kira Home Maintenance comes in. We're a full-service, routine maintenance company that was developed by a certified home inspector. Each quarter, we service our clients' homes following manufacturer's recommendations to properly maintain all the necessary appliances. We provide the materials and expertise to prolong the life of your property, creating a healthy and efficient environment for your family. From top to bottom, we'll maintain and service your home. To get started, we have a property inspection to determine what needs to be maintained, and a maintenance plan is created based on your preferences. From refrigerator coils to filters, vents, and drains, we do it all, and we do it well. Contact us today for your free routine maintenance inspection, and never worry about your maintenance again.
Sean Richards on the Riderflex podcast. Good morning, Sean. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you, Steve?
Doing good. How's let's see, Phoenix, Scottsdale this time of year? We're recording this on February 8th, 2024. It's a good time of year to be in Scottsdale, isn't it?
It is. We're getting a little bit unusual weather, some cold rain and wind, but normally it's quite sunny and beautiful here. So I'm actually quite enjoying it.
I don't. Yeah, you got a little jacket on there. What is it? What's your temperature this morning?
I know we're in Phoenix winter right now, which means it's sunny during the day, a little bit cold at night. But for any other state, this is still warm weather.
Yeah, right. No doubt about it. Been to Scottsdale and Phoenix many times. That whole area: Tucson, Tombstone, Phoenix, Scottsdale. I've done the whole tour a few times.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful state for sure.
Yeah, lots of activity and stuff. And I'm a Jeep guy, trail rider, ATV, camper guy,
Yeah.
and I live in Colorado. So sometimes we go to New Mexico or Arizona to do the same things.
No shortage of trails here, that's for sure.
All right, you could just go, you could just ride all day for sure.
Yeah, and I'm actually originally from Colorado, so I'm very much in love with both places. And it comes to jeeping and hiking and trailing. There's a lot in both states. You start in one and you finish in the other, I think.
Right? Yeah, totally, absolutely. Matter of fact, I like to do winter camping now a little bit when I can get into the problem is all the forest roads are blocked, right? In Colorado, like you can get up to the parking lot where the snowmobiles unload, but really it's kind of hard to find other places, right? And
Yeah, you don't want to end up being on the news for search and rescue in the winter.
Yeah.
So yeah, stay out of those zones in the winter.
I have camped with my Jeep in a snowmobile parking lot one time. That's another story for another podcast where they got a little crazy with. Anyway,
Just come down to Arizona and camp in the winter. You'll be better off.
Yes, exactly. So you were born here, so walk me through some of your early life
in
stuff.
Colorado, actually,
Okay.
but been in Arizona most of my life. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Went to high school and college in Arizona then?
Yeah. High school in Arizona, college at Arizona State University. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. And how about your folks? Tell me about mom, dad, siblings. Give me a little history.
Yeah. Parents grew up in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Okay.
Divorced young, so moved around a lot. Lived in many areas, many cities within Colorado. Lived in Las Vegas. Lived in San Antonio, Texas. Been around the block. Lived in California for several years. Been to Arizona back and forth at least 5 times. It's a lot of moving around, but really mostly settled in Arizona several times.
Did you stay with mom or dad, or a little bit of both?
Mostly lived with my mother through the years. Spent the summers with the father, and I've got two brothers and one stepbrother. So we spent a lot of the summers traveling to see the father, and which was always fun. You get to act like someone else during the summers. Be someone different.
Trust me, I know. I lived the same life, not only as a kid, but even with my own sons. Yeah, I had them in the summer when they were little, and it was just party all. It was a good time, right? Like when they came to see me, I'm like, I got them for 45 days. We're gonna do whatever they want. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna get on to them for hardly anything. Just do whatever.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you get to be the good, the good
Yeah,
parent and let
the
them
fun
play,
parent. Yeah, yeah,
and then
the
send
fun
them,
parent.
send them back to the other parent who gets to send them to school.
Now the problem with that was when they got to be teenagers, they came to live with me full time, and or I got custody or whatever, and we had this shift where I was like, okay, this is regular life now. Like now we have to have rules, chores, school. Like
Yeah.
we had to go through this transformation.
Oh yes. The hardships come in.
Yes. Are your folks still alive?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. One still lives in Nevada, outside of Las Vegas, and my mother lives here in Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, we talk to him all the time, see him all the time. We've got a big
Cool.
family, see him
Cool.
quite a bit.
Married, kids, single, part what's going on with you?
Yeah. I've got my wife Leah, and I have a beautiful 3-year-old daughter Adeline. I waited a while to
I
have
was
a
gonna
child
say, I was gonna
for good
say
reason.
you had kids late. Holy cow.
Did we waited? I have brothers that had kids really young, and I saw the
Uh-huh.
challenges of having children young. So I said, I'm gonna give myself some time. I'm gonna have my fun and start this one a little bit later. And so we did. We got married in 2019, and then had a child. That we had the pandemic baby. We
Oh,
um we
okay.
found out we were pregnant 2 weeks before quarantine started, and she was born in December in 2020, and yeah,
Uh,
it's been great. We've really enjoyed her. She just turned 3 in December, so
cool. What's your wife do?
well, I'm gonna mess this up, but she does global performance reporting for the real estate portfolio for Jones Lang LaSalle
I
for one of
see.
their largest accounts. So, yeah.
I see. Like,
Very-
so was she like an analyst, or was she like a finance, a numbers person, or what is that
Yeah,
exactly?
it's financial reporting for the real estate portfolio for one
Okay.
of JLL's largest accounts. Yeah.
I see. Sounds super boring. Don't tell her I said that.
Yeah, no, she enjoys the job, but it's a lot of work, and but she does a phenomenal job, keeps her busy. She loves it. Yeah.
Cool.
She's a numbers nerd
She's a
though.
numbers pro. Okay.
She's in
All
the
right.
Excel sheet all day long.
And you were right brain, right? So you were let's see, left brain is numbers, right? Isn't that right? Right. You were the creative art slash design marketing guy early on.
Yeah. I originally started out much more in the design side. My schooling, you know, it's funny. I went into college thinking I'd be a designer. Started out in the industrial design program actually,
Okay.
and realized very much that I was way too critical of myself. So I would start designing something, and I would end up throwing it away every time because I was so self-critical that I wasn't willing to show anybody anything, and I would just throw it away. Um, what I found out through that experience was that I actually was really good at critiquing other people's things. I was really good at giving feedback, and I was really good at critiquing things. So
Uh-huh.
I actually ended up shifting that to being more into managing the design process. So the degree that I ended up going at the time, and the degree at ASU has shifted quite a bit from what it originally was this design management degree, but it was really a lot more of the business aspects of design. So financial psychology, sustainability, accounting. It was more about how to run a business in the area of design.
Okay.
uh, in the School of Design. And so I took a lot of courses related to design, but it was actually more about how to facilitate and operate around the creativity of design and a little bit of entrepreneurship around that. So I led my design practice more in a business sense than it was actually like physically putting creativity towards it, which led me into marketing, right? It's about sales and marketing and applying that towards business practices. So most of my career has been in marketing for that reason.
Did you have early leadership qualities, tendencies? Like when you were in high school, college, were you the guy that was like, hey guys, we're going this way? Like, were you always kind of in a leadership role, or did that come about later?
Yeah. I would say for good or bad, I was always the one trying to organize the group, maybe
Okay.
to avoid doing the work, but telling everybody else what to do. Yeah. But yeah, I would say I probably was more of the organizer and more of the facilitator, kind of narrating what was going on. A lot of my early positions in my career, even kind of the early college positions and jobs that I held, was more just organizing groups, leading groups, kind of facilitating, what are we actually doing as a team? Whether I held the leadership position or simply just took that more kind of assertive stance in the group. That started a lot more early for me, which led me towards, kind of leaning myself into leadership positions early. I think it was just more for me to just be more of a planner in that sense, more of a thinker and planner, and give people guidance to what could be done in that natural setting.
Now you seem like you have a very soft approach. You seem like a very even keel guy, right? I don't see you. You're not a yeller. I don't see you as like, I'm going to raise my voice and use curse words to get things done. I don't see that.
That it's a really, really good observation. This is a funny thing that I joke with my wife all the time, because my wife is the type that gets very excited very easily, or also like quite upset very easily, and she'll hate me for saying this on a podcast. But I'm a very monotone person.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
I don't get excited very easily, which really can be annoying to some people, because sometimes you want someone to get very excited. If something really exciting is going on, you want them to get jazzed up. You want them to get really fired up and something, you win an award. Yes, okay, everybody get fired up. But equally, for the benefit of them, I don't get upset very easily either. So
gotcha. Yeah.
In a situation where it could be very upsetting, I am that person that brings calm to the situation, because
Yes,
I
I
can
can see
stay
that.
very calm and bring some normalcy to a situation. But also, if you want me to bring the hype to the room, you better look elsewhere, because I'm just, I'll celebrate it with you. I'll cheers you, but I'm not the guy that's going to be running around the room screaming and hyping you up. So I'm very, I'm in the middle of the line on that one.
You'd be great balance for let's say you got a CMO, that's very loud and boisterous and, over the top extrovert. You'd be a great balance for that, right? For sure.
Yeah, I've worked for some quite
Extravagant.
A-type CEOs in the past, where they just intense, and I try to play the yin to the yang in those situations, where I like help bring them back a little bit, and sometimes they help bring me out of my shell a little bit, and for instance, networking situations. I'm not the one that's just going to go walk up and talk to everybody in that room, but someone who is that way, willing to make those introductions on my behalf. I'll talk to anybody in a room. The introductions, of course, are the tough part for someone like myself. But once you engage me, I will talk your ear off, right? That's the kind of person I am. But yeah, it's an interesting, it's an interesting dynamic. Once you're in the social circle of someone like myself, you can engage with someone like me for a long time, and it feels very normal. I have a good ability to make someone feel comforted in a room. But that first ice break moment is typically, for someone like myself, it's always that's the hard part for
have you ever been in trouble? You ever do anything crazy? You ever been arrested? Anything cool, fun that you want to share? Anything you want to confess about right now, Sean?
Oh man, I did get arrested for stealing when I was in like early high school once.
Oh, cool. Like actually cuffed, like put in the back of the car?
I didn't get taken to jail. It was more of a put in the back of a room of a department store and
Oh, gotcha.
call your parents, they come
Yeah.
pick you up, we'll release you situation. It was my
Would you
friend's
steal a
dad.
Walkman? Would you steal a Walkman or some CDs?
I don't even remember at this point, to be honest. I think it was something really stupid. It was more of a, try to get away, a dare from friends
I got you.
situation. Uh, you know, Something so nominal, which is why they wouldn't arrest me in the first
I got
place.
you.
It's just like, this is so dumb. Just call your parents and get out of here, type of thing. No,
Uh,
I'm not the risk taker in that sense for the most
no.
part.
Okay.
But,
Gotcha. Okay. Very good. Well, I appreciate you sharing some stuff about your personality, and your family history. Thank you.
yeah,
Appreciate you sharing that. So, a design kind of creative guy into marketing, then into sales a little bit, relationships, growth. I kind of see them, obviously I looked at your LinkedIn profile. Nice career, by the way. Congratulations on, the different positions and the promotions and things. Congrats. Right now, is this your current title? Head of quality and growth for Vincit? Is that right?
correct. Yeah, yeah.
Why don't you give the listeners an overview about the company first, and then maybe into your position and what you do a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah. The company is Vincit. Vincent is a software design and software engineering company originally founded in Finland in 2007. So kind of founded originally by engineers who were simply looking for a better solution for the opportunity to work for a company where Mondays don't suck is the motto that has been around for quite a long time, where
Cool.
what is being built and the purpose of coming to work is much more passionate. That the purpose built things that are being done are done for a great reason, for the happiness of the employees and the customers. So Vincent builds custom solutions for our customers, using custom software development, user experience design, consultation for business transformation. So we look at the business practices and understand, excuse me, how technology can solve problems. So we have a lot of business practices across a lot of verticals to just solve problems using technology. And we do this anywhere from small to medium business all the way up to the enterprise space. Today, we solve problems in various industries, such as like retail, finance, manufacturing. You name it. We're quite industry agnostic, although we do have quite a deep experience in several, such as the public sector, finance, manufacturing, e-commerce, and such. So we very interested in understanding how to achieve business results for our customers using software as kind of the conduit to get there. That is our core competency. We really stay focused on the nature of using software design and development to achieve those results. And we've been doing that since 2007. I work specifically for the U.S. Business, and that the U.S. we expanded into the U.S. in 2016. In 2016, the European business, founded in Finland, had an IPO and went public on the
Nice.
NASDAQ.
Cool.
And at that point, expanded into the U.S. And so that's
Okay.
when the Vincit USA was started. And at that point, was started in California and Orange County. And in 2021, we also expanded into Scottsdale, Arizona. And since then, that's where a lot of my attendance of this company is participated. I helped bring some of that geographic expansion out here. And so that's where the head of quality and growth really is focused on for me, is helping us understand a lot of the processes in which we grow our market, how we expand our both geographically, our services, our teams, our processes, and really demonstrate just through our offering and ultimately through our ability to focus on the quality of our delivery and our customer retention and our customer acquisition strategies, just maintain this growth strategy that we have and, continuously maintain the trajectory we have.
It's listed on LinkedIn as an IT services and IT consulting company, but it's also a digital marketing agency as well, or no, not really.
Is not. Yeah. So we've stayed pretty true to our core competencies of software engineering.
Okay.
We do have other services in terms of consulting on business practices, business transformation, which does deviate a little bit into again, like business transformation, which is may not always result in software design and development. It may look at business process a little bit more, but almost always result in looking and assessing and analyzing and consulting in technology. But we do not offer marketing services. We do stay pretty narrow down the lane of technology as a service.
I'm going to use my own company as an example and a project/challenge that we have. And maybe you can tell me if that is a tiny example of some of the things you would do for bigger companies. We're a small company, so you said you do small, medium, and large, but let me give you an example. Tell me if this is something you would look at. So as a recruiting firm, we have probably 300,000 people in our database. And we have started to, of course, implement AI tools as fast as we can to make us more efficient, et cetera, as a recruiting firm. We use ChatGPT to help us analyze resumes and things and job description stuff or whatever we can use it for to just make us faster. Well, it would be great if ChatGPT could look into my database. If I could build a GPT to go into our applicant tracking system and find stuff for me and pull people out of there, which sounds like a software programming challenge. Boy, I wish I could do that because, our applicant tracking system does have its own filters and things, of course, to help us pull files out, but it's not as great as if I could just go, hey, ChatGPT, we just got a new search for a VP of sales in Denver. Please go into my database and give me the top 10 people that match this job description. Boom, done. Can you make one of those for me, Sean?
I mean, the short answer is yes, absolutely. So how we would typically go about that is understanding the end result you're looking for, the parameters of what you're trying to achieve, and we would essentially build an interface or a custom solution that achieves that. So you're talking about taking existing tools that don't need to be rebuilt by us, right? They exist. ChatGPT exists. The information exists. You've got that information. You've got the profiles. What you're asking for is some sort of mechanism that interfaces between those things.
Yes.
That doesn't exist. So that needs to be created.
Yes.
So that would be something we would create. We would define the parameters with you. We would build those out as requirements. We would decide, okay, what kind of interface does that need? Does it need a UI? Do we need to design that? We would just determine what kind of technology that requires to build it. How do you want to interact with it? What buttons do you want to push? What input do you need to input? What kind of output do you expect to come out of it? And we would define those requirements and we would build that. So that is exactly how we would go about that, and we would define that and build it. Yeah, that would be a case example. That would be a simple engagement that we would.
Yeah,
it's a very good example of something some of our customers do ask us for.
Okay, I'm sure you tackle things much more complicated than that. I just wanted to use that as an example because it's something lately where I just wish I could. I wish I could do that. I'm trying to. So maybe we can talk offline.
Yeah. Yeah. And, ultimately we're building large web applications, large mobile applications, embedded software technology.
Okay.
And some of them are explicitly like tools like you're talking about, these kind of tools and mechanisms that serve one purpose, like you're speaking of. Or we're
Mhm.
building entire web systems where those tools, like you're speaking of, are embedded in there, but that entire web system might have 10 to 15 of those tools as an entire ecosystem of tools that an organization needs. So maybe
Mhm.
we're building an entire suite of tools for a company that needs multiple of those kind of functions. So we're at the end of the day, we are a service provider that is basically looking at the needs of a business from end to end,
Okay.
or we're a service provider looking to add some function or feature to an existing set of things. So that's where we are custom software engineers. We're a custom service provider. We're looking at the business as a whole and trying to figure out, okay, how can we influence the results of your business in its entirety the most?
Mhm.
Where can we add the most value? We're not a product company, so we don't just have this one thing we do. And that's why we're always working with our customers. It's like, how can we just be of the most influence to the end result you're looking for?
You're delivering a finished product, or you're also building, or you're also a SaaS company with ongoing subscription models, et cetera, or both?
We're not a SaaS company, yeah. So we're always producing we're producing software, or we're producing something that is for you. So at the end of the day, what we build is yours. We're not licensing anything to you. It
Okay.
is your intellectual property, is your code, it is your software.
Okay.
And all of our customers, what we build, the intention is for it to be a life cycle with you. So we build something iteratively. The intention in almost all cases is that we build something. Let's say, for instance, we build something with a phased approach. We want to build something. We want to get it out into the world. We want you to test it with your customers. We want to learn something from that. Then
Okay.
we want to start building on that. We either want to modify that based on what we've understood, and then we want to build on that. We want to add features based on what we've learned.
Okay.
We want to look at a roadmap for you. We want to support that, provide you good value over time. Our goal is to be, long-term partners with the organizations, because it's technology. It doesn't just, you don't just launch it and it just goes, you know, uh, dormant and stays that way for long periods of time. Things need updated, versions need updated, technology. It doesn't necessarily go obsolete, but it does require maintenance over time to stay current, or
Yeah.
technology does require updating regularly, or new things get introduced. For instance, Chat GPT is a good example. They release new versions of that. Therefore, if your system integrates it, it's required to make sure that your system that integrates it stays up to date to take advantage of the latest versions of it. So you'd have a partner like us that's constantly making sure that your system that's using that function is always using the latest version of that function.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So yeah, our goal is to always just make sure we're giving you the best advantage as a partner and staying up to date with your solutions.
How do small businesses afford you guys? I mean, you're a pretty big company. You service big and medium sized companies. That's always us small business owners. We look at folks like you and we're like, oh, okay, yeah, it'd be nice for me to be able to call Sean, but we can't afford that because they're super expensive. How do you manage that with small business?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And this really goes back to the whole concept of MVPs, is really looking at what you're trying to accomplish and dial it back to the most minimum viable product that you can create.
Okay.
What if you can really, everybody kind of visions the biggest, hairiest goal they can
Yeah.
of something they want to build. A lot of customers will come to us and say, we have this idea of creating this incredible thing that we need to bring to the market right now. And if I don't do this right now, I'm going to miss the boat, or I'm going to, this
Yeah.
thing's going to happen, and I won't be successful. And we often challenge our customers in this thinking that how to validate your thinking is really to get it out in the world and
Mm-hmm.
test it with your potential audience or your user base.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you do that? Well, you do that by getting it out in the world as soon as you can, with the least amount of viable features that has the highest value to the customers with the most impact to them. So what we typically do is we go through a process where we identify everything they think they need. We scale it back to the most minimum viable product it can be, and we help identify that, convince them of that is the MVP. We help them build that. We get that out into the world. That will be a lesser budget. That will be the
I
most
see.
valuable piece of product that they can create. We help them get that into the world. So it makes it more manageable for them. It gets it out there. Hopefully it's revenue driving, right? The whole idea is to get that out in the world and get some revenue driving from that.
There you
And
go.
then
Yep.
start reinvesting what they drive revenue from into the next version of that thing. And then they can start building out those additional features. So how we work with small businesses is typically to get them to get their product out into the market sooner by
Okay.
thinking MVP instead of full life cycle products.
And that's a major victory for you to help take a small company to a medium-sized company for stuff you built for them. They started using it. They started growing. Now they're able to pay you more. So yeah, that's a win.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well,
Uh,
at that point, you get to use other people's money to build your product because you're using revenue from your customers,
yeah.
your own capital. So.
You said industry agnostic, so all over the place. I mean, you name it, or anything. Do you really kind of lean towards a certain focus?
Yeah, it's a little different. You know, we are international. We have quite a large presence in Europe and quite a presence in the U.S. In the U.S., we've been quite focused a lot in the retail sector and professional services. We do focus a little bit in manufacturing and some other areas. I say agnostic because at the end of the day, our process and our approach, regardless of the industry, still is the same. Meaning, we really do look at the end of the day, you're looking at process, you're looking at who your audience is, you're looking at what the user needs are. The process we go through to determine what to build and how to build it, who it's for, is the same regardless of the industry. And then you layer in industry research and industry knowledge on top of that.
Okay.
So when we really go into an industry, it's natural for us to really embed a lot of the research related to the industry from our customers, because our customers are the experts in that space. And so we include our customers in our process of developing our solutions more than I would say a lot of companies do. Because, if we deviate too much and we use our industry knowledge, for instance, if we say we are real estate experts and we go in and we say, okay, we're going to build this thing because we are experts in real estate, and we go to our customers and we start building. But that real estate company, that company that we're trying to build something for says, well, we don't do it like that other real estate company does. We could build the wrong thing. So a lot of the time, being an industry expert doesn't mean that the customers you're building it for wants it the exact same way that some other person or some other company in that same industry wants it. So we do lean a lot into our customers to provide us a lot of the industry expertise. But that doesn't mean that inherently, as industry experts, that we don't have that. We do spend a lot of time in the retail, D2C, B2B, e-commerce. A lot of our history in the US is centered around that. Globally, we have a really huge depth of manufacturing experience, fintech, a lot in the public sector. Yeah, we're quite
great answer on how you attack different industries. Really good. You can tell you've been challenged with that question in sales pitches many times. We get that too as a recruiting firm because we're a generalist boutique company. And one of the very first questions we get are, well, we're kind of looking for a recruiting firm that specializes in accountants, and we have to answer the same, you're just like, okay, let's have this conversation,
I'll tell you the funniest thing about being industry expert is when a company starts looking for you, they want you to have industry expertise.
Yeah.
So they want you to say, okay, I'm looking for a company who has expertise, I don't know, in this sports arena, for instance.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they sign up with you to be, you become their partner, they don't want you to have any other customers in the sports expertise space.
Exactly.
Which is funny because you're like, well, how did I become an expert in the sports expertise space? it's because I have other customers.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
a funny thing. It's
Yeah.
I want you
Totally.
to have that depth, but like, where did I get it from? It's because I have other customers, but they don't want you to. So I always find it a little bit humorous in that
Yeah.
sense.
Me too.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Me too.
it's our process that we lean in on, and
Right.
it's tried and true that we have a research methodology during our initial onboarding with our customers that has really proven out. We call it our discovery phase, but it's been named a lot of different ways for a lot of companies.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
it's a
Yeah.
process that we go
Yeah.
through, and we don't waver from going through it with our customers because it validates all the thinking up front
Yes.
to ensure that once we start our project, the accuracy of making sure what we're building
Man.
is on point. But
Yeah.
also we involve our customers through our process of actually developing. We don't let our customers distance themselves too much during the
Great.
project process,
Great.
so that
Great.
we're not going into a black hole for 6 months and then saying, okay, is
Yeah.
this right?
That's not what I
We did
wanted.
it?
That's not what we wanted, Sean. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what, as a service provider, yeah, I agree that we call it the discovery call too, a couple of discovery calls. It's
yeah.
the most important. Yeah, I really think it's, besides executing the project, you got to have that early discovery and make sure all the decision makers and everybody that's going to be involved, like, let's make sure we're on the same page. One of the challenges we have quite often is on the other side, on the client side, internally, they're still debating about what they want. And sometimes we don't know that until we dig. And then we're like, oh, okay, hold on. Sally actually doesn't agree with Johnny on that new hire. And I'm just now picking up on this. And we're in our third discovery call. Meanwhile, we're 3 weeks into the search and we've already burned all this time. And now we're learning that Sally and Johnny don't actually agree. Yeah. Yeah. The discovery phase is critical.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
Absolutely critical.
the thing I love about the discovery phase is it gives us an opportunity to challenge the thinking. And in almost all cases, we surface something the customers weren't thinking about
Yep.
that's
Mhm.
new,
Yep.
that helps them round out the vision that they have.
Mm. Yep.
But also it challenges our thinking too. There are new things that come to light for us that we didn't know about their industry,
Mhm.
or maybe
Mhm.
something that we just inherently didn't have an awareness of about their type of business that challenges the way we think about things too. It's always a learning opportunity for both organizations to continuously grow. And
Yep.
for me, that's just it's always fantastic because our engineers, our designers, our staff is always seeking to grow with our clients. And, the
Good.
relationship just deepens every time we all are continuously and collaboratively learning together. It's a mutual relationship. And to think that it's not that is silly. So,
You're right. Speaking of your software engineers, are they all nervous that their jobs are going away? When they first started using ChatGPT, were they like, "Oh shit, oh man, I guess I'll work at Home Depot in a few years." I don't know what.
no, it's actually quite the opposite. We are, as a company and as individuals, we've actually quite embraced AI. If not every single one of our engineers and designers, and our administrative teams and operational folks, we almost all use AI tools in our day-to-day business. Our engineers are using tools like Copilot in their coding
Good.
practices
Good.
to help. I mean, it's speeding up productivity. I mean, things
Oh,
that help us
yeah.
eliminate nuances of coding using AI tools
Right.
is really improved our output on not just on behalf of ourselves, but on behalf of our customers. We're
Yes.
finding things that, and it's not necessarily just, it's improving our code. It's finding things that I wouldn't necessarily call bugs, but it's just, can we improve? For instance, can we minimize 10 lines of code down to two using just better methodologies? It's not that the 10 lines of code didn't work. It's just that two was better.
Yeah.
And we can use AI tools to help us identify where 10 lines of code can reduce to two. So we use a lot of tools throughout our organization already for that. So I would actually say almost all of our staff is very excited about AI. Of course, there is naturally a lot of like education that still is happening about what is the extent of these tools and
Mhm.
how can they help us. And so we actually have some internal milestones of getting certain percentages of our company certified on certain
Uh,
AI tools.
Good idea.
I don't have the percentage with me right now, but we had a goal for the end of 2023 to have a certain percentage of our entire staff certified on AI tools, and I believe we actually hit that goal. I'd have to source that number for you after this call, but and we have more goals this year to get more people certified on these tools so that we really truly are experts in this space and can consult on this space. We formed a committee last year in AI, and we are both in Europe and in the US being looked at, very publicly as being experts in the AI space to help companies understand. I myself have spoken on the AI topic here locally in several events. Our CEO and several other members of our European team have gone to events and spoken on the topic of AI for the purpose of just bringing more clarity, trying to demystify.
The doomsday view.
Yeah, just trying to bring, I don't know, some normalcy to how to think about AI. It's not this big hairy thing that if you don't do it, you're going to fall behind scenario. What it simply is right now is that it's available as an opportunity to accelerate some parts of your business if it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's the if it makes sense part that you should be evaluating right now,
Yep.
right?
Agreed.
It doesn't make sense for all businesses. But if you're not going through the exercise of trying to find out if it
Right.
makes sense, that is where I'm advocating. Go through the exercise to figure out if it makes sense.
Yes.
But don't assume that it makes sense. Just go through the exercise.
I agree totally. I think that's a great way to look at it. You know, there are people that are asleep at the wheel, so to speak. There are people with their head in the sand that aren't paying attention, and they're not going through that exercise. They're not even asking themselves. They're kind of pretending like it's not happening. I still get on video because we interview people all day, right? And so I still get on video with people that have never used ChatGPT, don't have any idea what I think to myself, you got to pay attention or you're going to be left behind here. And you're right. The efficiency and the speed and efficiency to knock out tactical tasks to open up more time for more creativity and more strategy and more clients. I mean, that's the key. It's true. Like if you have 10 software engineers, I know you have a lot more than that, but let's just use this example. If you have 10 software engineers and 100 clients and you implement AI, but you don't sign any new clients, yeah, you might be able to go down to 3 software engineers instead of 10 if you implement AI and don't increase your volume of clients. But the point is to increase volume of clients and use the AI as with the speed and efficiency to grow your business. And that's what people need to think of it that way. It's not job elimination if you are using it to grow your business in the right way. In my
Right.
opinion, I actually let go. We let go of 3 recruiters recently because we have contractors that do business with us. And I want them to use MetaView to take the automatic note taker, MetaView, to take notes when they're talking to candidates. And I wanted them to put it in their profile. We have a automatic video recorder thing that chops up some highlights. And I want them to use a GPT we built in ChatGPT to analyze resumes and put those notes from ChatGPT in the system. Basic shit, right? I mean, this is pretty simple stuff.
Yeah.
And some of the old school recruiters just they don't want to do it. They're like, no, I'm not using that. And I was like, okay, well, have a nice life. You don't work for Riderflex anymore. Like you have to
Yeah.
implement these things to make you stronger, faster, more efficient.
Yeah, the adoption of it is imperative. And it's really not about getting yourself into a state of being an overproducer. It's just making sure that your standards of production are meeting the expectations of what the economy is rising itself to, which
Yes.
a level of common production using tooling. I mean, we've introduced many tools over the years. Microsoft has always introduced new tools. Apple's always introduced new tools. They've always introduced it. This just happens to be one that's accelerating very fast.
It is.
But we just need to adopt it and all become better at what we're doing. And honestly, at the end of the day, it might actually give us time back as people
That would be great.
to have a better work-life balance if we think about it well.
Yes.
For me, I just, I really advocate for the adoption of it. And I really think that if people can look at it from a strategic standpoint of say, how does this actually increase the opportunity to drive business results? And they put cases to it, say, okay, if I adopt this, and then I actually tie it back to business results, say, okay, if I start doing this, and then I tie it back to maybe revenue or operational efficiency or cost reduction. Now I'm talking about some real stuff. Now I'm talking about, I'm going to go to my management and say, hey, if I start using this tool for this reason, I can reduce expenses here. You think they're going to say no to that?
Exactly.
Or I can put this into my sales prospecting, mechanism, and I can actually increase my lead volume by X. You think they're going to say no to that? No.
Exactly.
I think people need to think about how to introduce this in a way that it actually drives business results. And if it's building a tool, which is, where we come into play, where I want to use AI, but I really need to build a tool around it that fits our business's needs because the existing off-the-shelf stuff doesn't make sense. It might take $100,000, $200,000 to build it, but the results of building this thing will be X, Y, and Z results. Can I get budget approval to do that? Build a business case for that and get it, get the buy-in. That for me is the most important part. Just evaluate it, build a business case, and I guarantee your company or your influencers that help hold that budgets, they're going to be on board even if they understand AI or not, because as soon as you tie it to business results, they understand that stuff.
That's exactly right. Now, on the flip side, if we do need to find Sarah Connor and to go down and track down the Terminator at some point and robots take over, well, I guess you're right. Then we're in a completely different world where I can get in my Jeep and go camping all the time because robots are doing everything and we're all on some sort of universal pay. And you know what? I might be fine with that too. then I can just chill. I don't know. I don't think that's what'll happen, but it's going to be interesting over the next. It's going to be interesting for your daughter, right? You said how old?
She's 3. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of world will she live in when she's 30? She'll probably have a robot at the house that does stuff, which is great. I mean, hey, if they were selling robots right now that would load the washing machine and do the dishes and vacuum the floor and do stuff around the house, I would buy one right now. So I'm all for, yeah, go ahead.
I don't pretend to try to predict what will happen, but I think we're gonna at some point in the future just get to an inflection point where we've realized that what's important to us will shift away from the technology that drives us, but the human interaction component will be so non-existent that we will all have, as humanity, will agree to somehow shift it back and find ways to do that. Get our heads back out of our phones and off our screens. What kind of doomsday it'll take to get us to that inflection point, I don't know. I hope we get there to a point where we all agree that as a humanity we've reached that point and we should do something about it. But I honestly I don't think AI or the progress of AI or the robotics, or I don't think that we're anywhere near the risk that is being conveyed by those conspiracy theorists. Like right now everything is in a very controlled environment. Everything is being done in a very business centric way. It's all being done in a way that it is supporting the initiatives of of the tooling and the machinery and the processes that they're being built for. They're being built in environments that are very controlled, whether I'm not going to say uneducated because I think that's the wrong way to say it, but less informed audiences don't understand it because they're not in the space of it. But the people that are building it, they understand what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
They're building these things with the controls and the measures to ensure that it doesn't get out of hand. But they can't educate everybody and anybody about all those things at all times.
That's true.
I believe what they're being built for is purpose built, and that they're doing this for the sake of growing our technology as a humanity to just be better, stronger, faster, so we can accelerate, what we do and grow and have better products, better livelihoods, better businesses. And, our company is one that we just embrace it because we believe we can get better.
Speaking of getting your head out of your phone, my wife and I have a very strict rule when we go out to dinner or happy hour, if we're at a bar or restaurant or something, no phones. And I feel like it actually seems like people are getting better about that. Now, let's remove the 20-year-olds because they're still doing it all the time. But if 30, 40, 50-year-olds at a restaurant, especially couples that are out to dinner, it feels like it's getting better. Like I don't see people pulling out their phones as much. I feel like people are very aware, like, okay, no, we're out to dinner. We're not going to play on Facebook. We're going to talk. We're going to engage human to human.
Yeah.
I feel like it's getting better. And when I do see a couple doing that from across the way, if I see a couple that are out to dinner and they're both staring at their phones, I just want to go over there and go, it's like, you're spending $200 on dinner. Like, stop it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I will admit that I'm not too shameful though to put a phone in front of my daughter's face if we're at a restaurant and she's acting up and it's the only
Now
thing
that's different.
to quiet her down.
Yeah, that's different.
I'm not too shameful to let that happen.
Yeah, that's different.
But no, I agree. I think that's certainly something that is it's an unfortunate situation, but I would agree. I observe that's getting a little bit better.
Hopefully we're not wearing, hopefully with the new, what's the new Apple thing, the Vision Pro or whatever it's called, the headset.
Oh God.
Can you imagine what if we go to restaurants, if I go to restaurants and see people wearing that, trying to talk, I'm just going to rip it off their head. I'm just going to rip it off their face. It's like, no, you're not going to talk to me with one of those on. I'm just joking. Anyway, Sean, I know we're out of time. We're bumping up on our hour. Great conversation, man. Great conversation. Really.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I appreciate you having me on this. It's been really enjoyable.
Congratulations on everything you guys are doing over there. Sounds like an awesome place to be. You seem like an awesome guy to work with and for, and you have a great outlook on the whole AI thing moving forward. Maybe in 5 years, I look you up and we come back and we watch this and we see where we're at based on our conversation. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.